It's 6 a.m. Let's get to work.
Alright, go, you go get a runner. Whoa! How was it?
Cool.
Do you film us, Marlo? Hey, Marlo.
Hey mate, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good man, how are you?
For so long I've done the Australian summer, come across, do the opening weekend, Paris-Roubaix, do the classics, and you sort of get a bit stale with the same old program. You get a little bit complacent. And what I've found with this year is it's so different that I've had to find different ways to achieve the same goal. It was about keeping myself inspired. It was about finding new events that were going to inspire me to train better. Okay, Roubaix was a long build up and then it was just like pulled from me last second. And I was like, well, and what's next? I was like, well, Tro-Bro Léon. It's like, I haven't done it, I've wanted to do it. When looking at the weather, it's going to be raining, it's going to be windy, and I was like, beautiful.
Madame, mademoiselle, monsieur, bonsoir. Nous commençons donc ce journal par le Tro-Bro Léon.
Le Tro-Bro Léon, c'est une épreuve atypique qui se déroule.
Dans ces lignes tortueuses et tourbes, il n'existe d'autre tactique que d'être devant, d'attaquer sans cesse avec l'espoir de ne pas crever.
The origins of the race are pretty interesting too. I'm going to butcher the story to hell. But basically, the Breton language was dying out and wasn't allowed to be taught in schools under the French system, and they started the race to fund a school and be able to teach their own language. How good's that? That's an origin story, you know? Like, what better reason for a bike race?
Toi, le ribbing. Ribbing, c'est les chemins empierrés. C'est
chemin de ferme, on va dire. Oui. 1984, première course.
Et c'est professionnel depuis
15 ans, 12 ans, 15 ans.
Ouais, une bonne quinzaine d'années. Tout à l'heure.
There's a lot of things that this race just does different, you know, and in a sport of more or less monotony all the time, it's nice to have that change. Where else can you cross the finish line first and win a freaking pig? You know, the fans want to see a show every time you turn the bike race on. They don't want to, you know, turn it on, take a nap for 3 hours, and then watch the last 3K and have nothing else change.
The other day I watched the Mountain Bike World Cup, and like their race flat out.
So we're underway here in Novi Mesto Navaravi, one of the biggest cross-country World Cup races of the year.
And then I switched to the Giro, and like they had the brake under control. There's like 50k to go, and there's like a bunch of guys chatting. It's like, oh, it must be hard for people to understand this.
Whoever came up with that alternative calendar idea 2 years ago, I don't know how you say it in English, but close to a genius idea, because it brings this team much closer to the fan base than any other team with whatever how many victories.
Oh! That's why we are here.
I need a new razor already, this thing's blunt. And I was in the shower, I was like, oh, it's gonna scrape it off.
I think after the next thing now we can probably adjust the wire pressure.
Copy. Amazing, eh? Unbelievable. Like, you came out of those corners, and I just said, I don't know, is it me or are my legs really good? I said, no, you got legs, the bike's just good.
When's this getting released? On Monday, I'm going to announce that I'm going to retire at the end of this year. Initially, when Roubaix was pulled, it was really disappointing because I had really focused on that and I wasn't sure what I was going to do next year or the rest of my career. And I thought, I'll let Roubaix decide. I'll go to the race, I'll do the race, and I'll feel what I feel after the race and make a decision. And when Roubaix got pulled, I thought, I'm still feeling these feelings, like I'm really happy racing, but I sort of saw the writing on the wall. You know, there's not really much more for me to achieve in my career. I can still keep racing, I love it, but it's not just about me anymore. It's about me and the family and moving to that next step.
Let's go.
You have your favourite, most hardest race as your last race, Roubaix. And I just thought, it was just meant to be.
It's very much like a classic, you know? Always turning, small roads. It's always different in a recon though. There's no stress. And then when you put 150 guys down there, it's just chaos.
I'm not that rider who raises his hands very much at all.
Oh la la.
So for me to have the chance to be in the mix to win a race, to get through all sectors, through all the crashes on the right, the guy slipping on the left, you're in that front group, you've made that selection, you know this is it.
Very soon right turn, come on, come on.
All right boys, we're the best of the best, let's go for it. Race. It's so hard. It was pretty much a show the whole race. Yeah. Because no one gives two fucks anymore. Oh, that hurt. I guess they don't feel the need to clean the roads here like in a normal road race because you are going on gravel. So it's like, well, why would we clean the normal roads? So I just slipped out on dirt on a normal road.
Stop. Back wheel, back
like you sort of go through that whole, oh, my race is over, and then you sort of get yourself back together and go, all right, come on, let's just see if we can get back.
Go to the front. You keep on riding.
This is Tro-Bro. This is the race I was looking forward to.
Lachlan sprint flat out.
Oh.
Is that working? I was like coming back from, because it'd been raining, I went to get a jacket. Bridges just like lay down on the road at 45k an hour in front of me, and I just like somewhere just before I landed, I think I copped like a handlebar or just something like directly to my quad. But I was like, oh, I better go, and that was right when the team car came. Because Andreas was like, oh, okay, so it's like 10k up the road, just jump in with her. And I was like, at the time I was like, yeah, no worries. And then I thought about it, just as he pulled away, I was like, I can't pedal.
That second last sector is proper. It's really, really hard. You got on there, it was wet, like really wet, and you're just like completely covered in mud. You're like, oh, here we go.
It's completely different than any other bike race you'll do on the calendar. Honestly, it felt more like a cyclocross race, dealing with rain, wind, kind of racing on these tiny, bumpy French roads and all that other good stuff.